bleed. And now, here's your host, Bill Damiano.
Working. I didn't bookmark it. As I go live, I am Bill, and we're going to start that over. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Rock Show. I am currently turning on chats, so if you're wondering why I'm distracted, it's because I'm distracted. I'm going to start that over. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, providing you with the best unsigned rock and metal. The Pennsylvania. I can hear myself. I am so editing this. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 819. Coming at you from buildascene.com, music from the 412.com, kwradio.com, megarockradio.net, 107.1 KFGD, xrpradio.co.uk, metalshop101.com, and I feel like I forgot one, and that happens a lot. With me tonight is Robbie Perone of Mimic and Endeavor After and Great White Snake, and am I forgetting anything? Zilch occasionally.
Zilch occasionally, yeah. That's still around. Hopefully, sometime in the next 5 years, we'll be able to do another reunion. So all the stars will align.
I'm still turning things on. It never fails. Okay, so we're here to talk about something that was very unexpected to me. So the name Mimic, I'm assuming was picked because you guys were doing covers of other bands.
Yes, you're spot on right there. Actually, our drummer's wife actually came up with it. We were all sitting around trying to figure out a name, and he brought it to the band, and he was like, Mimic. And immediately, I think all of us looked at each other and were just like, that's perfect. Because at the time, and we still are, cover band, and that was perfect. It was like, oh, we're a cover band, so yeah, we mimic everything. That's great. So that's the short story of how the whole name came from, and it sticks. It's kind of like Fist or Savage Animal. Savage Animal, man, rolls off the tongue. It's my little homage to Sebastian Bach there. Sorry.
There's a whole nother story in the world of rock. I don't see him fronting Twisted Sister. It just doesn't feel right.
Same. Props to him, props to them. But then I'm kind of leaning, trying to leave an open mind to it. Some videos have popped up of him singing "I Want to Rock" with his band, and I mean, I hope it goes good, and I'm sure it will go good. A lot of people were skeptical about Axl fronting AC/DC too, but
I think
he took that to another level.
I think Axl was currently, like, in recent years, Axl did AC/DC better than he does Guns N' Roses.
I agree. And full props to Angus Young, because I was at that original reunion show back in 2016 while he was doing double duty, and I give all the credit to Angus Young, because Angus would not let him, and he's admitted that Angus wouldn't let him slouch. And I think doing double duty like that really brought the Guns N' Roses shows to light, because I was there and it was an unbelievable show. Recent years, Duff and Slash are there.
So here's the thing, like, I've never seen Sebastian Bach live. I've never seen Skid Row live. I had tickets to, but by the time I got into Star Lake and out of my car, I don't even know who was singing at that point, but we literally opened the door up and he said, "We're Skid effing Row, good night." That parking is a nightmare there.
I'm gonna say that was the Kiss farewell tour.
Probably.
With Johnny Solinger, because I was there for that.
So you got to see it?
I was actually in the crowd.
I was in the parking lot for him to say that he was done. That happened to me with Lita Ford, too. I got there because I live so far away. You live like 10 minutes from there. Exaggerated.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not, maybe 17.
I live like an hour and 10 minutes from there without traffic.
And by traffic, you just mean the parking lot.
Yeah. Because really, 22 and 30 will back up a little bit occasionally, right before that exit ramp. But that exit ramp, we were going to see Kiss, and we got to the exit ramp, and the firemen were stopping all the cars. Gene Simmons had COVID. I had to go home. Made that whole drive, turn around and go home. But it worked out because I ended up with my brother's parking pass for the reschedule. And
there you go.
I would have loved to have my brother and my sister-in-law there with me. The parking pass was good. Anyway, so back to Mimic. How do we get here? Oh, Sebastian Bach. So what I wanted to say about Sebastian Bach is he does not seem like a nice person. And I've heard stories about things that have happened in Pittsburgh that make me believe that. And you probably know what I'm talking about. Photographer.
I know the stories you're speaking of.
So, but here's the thing. Of the singers of that age and genre and era, he might be the only one that can still sing, like really sing.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I've seen some videos of him just in Pittsburgh on, what was it, this past Friday. And I thought he sounded great. I thought it was amazing.
So I guess be mean and your voice will stay. Don't be mean. It's not nice.
I've met the guy many moons ago, and he was super cool.
Well, that's the same thing. Like, I've met Gene Simmons. Everyone has had a bad experience with him. I had a great experience with him. So
that was back whenever I was doing what you do. I was doing the internet radio, and I got to interview him, and he was super nice. Gave me like my own little shout out and everything else. And it's kind of funny because just his stature alone is intimidating, though. Because he's like what, 6'7" or something like that, whatever it is. But he come barreling around the bend, and it just like, my stomach went into my throat. Like, don't make him mad.
I had a similar experience once, but I was in 8th grade, and it was Jay Caulfield coming off the ice.
Nice.
Who's also 6-something. And then he had however many inches of skate blade underneath. He's a big dude. Anyway, we haven't really talked about Mimic at all. Let me try and get back to my point.
We really haven't. That's what happens whenever me and you get together. We just start BSing about everything.
We have like a minute left in the first segment, and I've said Mimic twice, and that's it, really. All right, so how did this band, it was formed to be a cover band and named after the fact that they're going to be a cover band, end up writing an original?
Well, that was pretty much, we formed back in November of 22, and last year in 25, we really put our nose to the grindstone, really like hit the pavement, hit all the clubs, as many as we could, as many times as we could. And really we wanted to branch out a little bit more. BJ and myself, BJ Powell's our lead guitar player, and myself have been writing and demoing a bunch of our own material for a while now. We got demos all over the place right now, and we started throwing around a couple of riffs and everything that would be more geared towards Mimic style. And I ended up bringing in Shadowbox, and it worked. Everything just kind of clicked. We demoed it out, let the guys hear a real rough edit of it, and everybody loved it. And we said, okay, well, this is going to be the first Mimic original. And then as the stars aligned, we got offered to open for Firehouse at Jurgles a couple weeks ago, and we decided that's going to be the debut of the beginning of the next chapter of Mimic.
So are there more songs headed out to the ether?
There are. We have to demo a couple up right now. I know there's at least 2 that we have eyes and ears on right now. One written by our rhythm guitar player Bob Coulter, the other one by myself as well as BJ as well, that we're gonna be throwing around. And it's really awesome to see the lights going off on everybody now, the creative side of everybody, and you can just see the drive that each band member has to really put forth our best effort and do what we can do with it.
Hey, so me being so frustrated today, I told you off the air, I didn't even we came on, nothing worked correctly, but I also didn't mention what songs we heard at the top of the show. So I'm going to mention those, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to hear next, and we're going to take a break. So we heard Blood Union and their song On Top, and then we followed that up with Overload in Stereo, and their song Soft Spot for the Underdog. And then up next, we're going to hear Shadowbox by Mimic and a track from Keller called The End. And we will be right back. Welcome back to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 819. If you're just tuning in, with me tonight is Robbie Perone, lead singer of Mimic. Bass? You play bass in Great White Snake, correct?
Correct.
And owner of Endeavor After LLC. I'm assuming that's an Endeavor After shirt you're wearing. Yeah.
It is. This is actually my new line. It took quite a bit of how do I say push from those around me to actually branch out and start doing stuff of my own. Just instead of just all the band stuff and everything else, to actually brand myself. So this is actually one of the shirts that I have on EndeavorAfterLLC.com, as well as my own website, which is just Robbie Perone. It's one big long name. It's RobbiePerone.wixsite.com/Robbie Perone.
If you only knew someone that could help you with that.
I know, right? But yeah, this is one of them. There's a couple of them, because really one of the biggest things with Mimic, whenever you come to our shows and everything else, is the fact that we really promote positivity. Um, as a cover band, as a party band, whatever you want to consider it, when you come out to the shows, everybody knows you have the 9 to 5 grind. Everybody has the like troubles in their life and everything else. If you get a full Mimic show, we have you for 3 hours, and in those 3 hours, we want you to forget about all your problems and just have fun. And we can't wait to see you again. And really, I've been saying it at every performance we've done. Everybody always hears the term "misery loves company." It's a standard term. Everybody hears it. Everybody says it. Misery just it loves company. Well, one thing nobody talks about is positivity breeds positivity, and that's what we try to portray on everybody. When you come to a Mimic show, you're part of our family. We are honored to be in your house and performing for you.
I know that was figuratively, but bands used to come and play in my house. In this room, actually.
Bring that back. I mean, if are you inviting Mimic over to your house for a jam session? I mean, we can make it happen.
No offense, but no. I was about 21 years younger. So I have your website pulled up, and you can see, those are the people that are watching and not just listening, that you can purchase the single Shadowbox off of mimicband.com. I'm assuming, I haven't looked ahead of time, but I'm assuming this store, yep, links to Endeavor After.
Yep.
That looks familiar.
It does. I know. I think we both know a guy that actually set that up.
I think it was the guy I meant when I said somebody could help you with Robbie Perone website.
Yeah.
So, anything in here that in particular you want to push people towards?
Well, everything. Buy it all. No, really, on the store page, if at the top there you'll see a group photo of us on the right-hand side. That is actually a show specific swag item. About a month ago, our former bass player, my cousin David Perone, decided to leave the band. And we have the good Philip Lenz, or as we call him, Philin Lenz, on bass for a couple months now while we search out and get the bass auditions going. Phil was kind enough to jump in last minute, basically with a week to prepare, one rehearsal, and right into a full show. And then the full show is basically his warm up, and then we went right into Firehouse. And that shirt right there is actually our show specific for the Firehouse show that we did opening for them at Jurgles in Morrendale. There's kind of like little Easter eggs in there, like the band is standing in front of a fire truck, and then on the back it has the venue and the date and everything. Just something special for everybody to have. There's a few left if anybody's interested in them, so jump on there and snag them up while you can. There will not be any more made because obviously March 12th is gone. So but yeah, you can download your own copy of Shadowbox there. Everything is interchangeable. If you see something that you like on something else, then let me know and I can make that happen too. But yeah, we're very happy. The reception we've gotten so far from the song has just been amazing. We prefer, like I said, we did a preview of it the show prior to the Jurgle show opening for Firehouse, but the official debut was at the Firehouse show, and everybody really busted their butts to get everything recorded, get it mixed, and we're very proud of it. And the reception has been great. It was so funny because we played it at Firehouse. It was not streaming. It was not available yet or anything else. And it was so funny because at the end of the song, I asked the crowd, how many of you knew that song? And 3 girls in front of me raised their hand. So of course, me being me, I had to call them out, and I was like, yeah, liars.
Well, here's the thing. I said that it reminded me of Alice in Chains in 90s, and you said somebody else told you the same thing. So it could be that they thought they were listening to an Alice in Chains song.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
So tell me a little bit about the track. Like, how did it come about? Where'd you record it at? Was there pizza involved?
There was no pizza involved. A few twisted teas. I have to say that. I demoed it. I demoed the riff originally in my home studio here. Put down the bass, the rhythm guitar, programmed a decent drum sound just to have it in there, and then took it over to BJ's house. He has much better equipment than me. And we demoed it further out there. At that point, we actually sat down, recorded the bass, the guitar, the lead. Well, lead guitar came on later. Worked out the drums, and then from there, BJ actually had the beginning of the lyrics, which was kind of wild because we had a little bit of a melody going, but we didn't really know where to go with it. But then out of nowhere, he just literally looked over to his monitor and was like, hey, how about this? And we started singing it, and it worked out for the most part. But then, we changed it here and there and really gave it a positive spin on it. The song itself is basically about a guy who's battling everything in his mind that, you can tell from the artwork. It's like, eviction notices, relationships, families, jobs, all this stuff going on in his head. And that is his shadow box, and he's fighting all his problems all the time. And the biggest thing is all these things are telling him no. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, who are you to tell me I can and can't do something? So there's a line in it that says, let him point in the air and tell you no. Well, I say yeah. And that's where, we really get the crowd. There's some gang vocals in it where it's like, yeah, because we want to bring you up. We don't want that to, we don't want all those problems to weigh you down. And I don't want the problems to weigh me down. And, that's really the synopsis of the song. Once after we demoed it and everything, Chris went in, laid down some amazing drums on it. Bob laid down his guitar. BJ came in and knocked out the solos. I worked the best I could with vocals. But the coolest thing for me on this one, especially since I'm not gonna give away too much of my past, but it's been a long time coming. I have been on some recordings, but this is the very first recording that is so near and dear to me, from the ground up, my riff, the band bringing in their input, everything else, switching stuff around. And just the first one, it was really organic. And to top it all off, the gang vocals you hear in that saying, yeah, features my son, Brandon, which is awesome to me. I love the fact that we really extended it to family on this one.
Very cool. We talked about that the other day. I started smiling when you were bringing it up.
We did, so, and I tell you what, you were smiling. You were smiling. You should have seen my ear to ear, grin on my face whenever he was all mic'd up and going.
All right, so we're gonna take our next break. Speaking of '90s feel, we're gonna hear from Neostem and their song "Mud Hole," which is
neither of us can really talk tonight. This is rough.
I know. Do you know what Mud Hole is about?
I have some ideas just by the name, but
let me tell you that they're from Munhall.
Nice. Okay.
And then we're going to hear from friends of theirs. I met this band through Neostem, King Catfish, and their song Neptune Street, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We're headed into segment number 3. I'm going to remember to press that button again. With me is Robbie Perone of Mimic. So I kind of threw in my pizza question, and it didn't phase you, which means I don't think I've ever asked you the pizza question.
Uh-oh.
So there are 2 questions that are official and unofficial. Build a scene. This is the unofficial one. What is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
Because I'm a musician?
Yeah, so you have to link it to music somehow.
So I'm assuming that you want like a venue or something that I've had.
It could be anything. It could have been when you were recording Shadowbox in your basement.
I would honestly have to say the best pizza I've had is anytime that the guys and I get together of hanging out. We got away from it for a little while, but we started to bring it back. Is after shows and everything, if it's close enough to, instead of like rehearsing, we'll get together and just hang, talk about the show, joke around, just have a great time. Put like Spinal Tap on the TV or something like that, and just hang. And I think the best pizza I've had as a musician would be Breezy's Pizza, that BJ and his wife Lisa, I believe it's their cousin, I think. But yeah, they get that, and we hang out. We just grab a couple slices of pie, watch some Spinal Tap, watch some like Dream Theater concerts, Van Halen, whatever we're doing, and just enjoy. It doesn't. This is a business, but people don't understand that businesses are all about relationships, and in order for the business to grow, the relationships need to grow as well.
So I'm trying to think of, I'm kind of glossing over what you just said there, but not on purpose. There's a pizza place out near you. I cannot think of the name of it right now, but they no pizza boxes. It's pizza in a bag.
Oh, Dawn's Pizza.
That's it, Dawn. I was trying to remember his name.
Yep, Dawn's Pizza. And let me tell you, man, he will like make fun of you galore if you pull in there with a minivan. Because I did, and I did, and I walked in, and he was like, "Excuse me, sir, you have to leave." I was like, "Why? What's going on? Is something wrong?" He's like, "No, we don't serve minivans here." I was like, "Ow!"
I mean, I'm pretty sure the last time I was there, I was in a minivan. But
maybe I just looked like I needed somebody to pick on me that day. I guess I don't know.
Maybe. Although, would I have went in? I probably went in with Kelly, and he knows Kelly because she grew up right around the corner.
Oh, okay.
Well, ish.
Ish.
By West Allegheny.
Across the street.
Yeah, ish. Okay. And then the official question, I'm sure I asked you this one, but I'll ask it again just in case. Who's your Dave Grohl? And no, I don't mean, no, never mind. What I mean is, it took you a second. Who would you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs?
Ooh, there's quite a few of them. I would have to say it's actually a tie for me between Skid Row and Overkill.
Okay.
Very, 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 very little far apart there, but both bands.
Well, that brings up a question: are you singing or are you playing bass?
Oh, I'd definitely be playing bass. Definitely be playing bass, because whether it's Sebastian Bach or Eric Ronwald, I'd say unfortunately, Johnny Solinger has passed, so obviously it can't be him. Rest in peace, Johnny. But yeah, they would have to be the singer. And there's no one that's going to take Bobby Blitz's place in Overkill. So definitely bass.
Can you remember and pinpoint the moment that you knew that you needed to be in a band?
12 years old when I got my first bass. That's it's been in my DNA for since then. Actually, before then, and I give full credit to my cousin who is no longer with Mimic, David Perone, because he's 7 years my senior, and I always looked at him as far as he was the guy in the scene, he was the musician and everything else. He was the bass player, and he would always push me to try to play guitar instead so we could work together and everything else. But these fat fingers are not really good for guitar. I've been trying recently, though. I have been trying recently, and I do play some rhythm guitar with Mimic. So, and as far as recording wise and everything, I can demo the crap out of anything. Luckily, I have two awesome guitar players, Bob and BJ, who understand my crappy playing and can fix it. But no, 12 years old, I begged and begged my parents for a bass. And sure enough, Christmas morning, they pulled the Christmas Story on me. Like, we went through the entire Christmas and it wasn't there. And all of a sudden there was this little note that said something about our patio or something like that. And as soon as I flicked the light on in the patio, they had everything set up, like the bass, the small amp, everything. I specifically remember I had 2 tablature books. Now you can find all that stuff on the internet. But back then you actually had to buy a book. Most of them came from Wolf Marshall, who he was good. There's a lot of people on the internet now that play a lot of different things that are in those books. But I had the books of Injustice for All and Appetite for Destruction. So those were my first 2 workarounds, and it was rather amusing because everybody knows all the stories of Injustice for All and how there's a lack of bass. Well, when you're a 12-year-old kid picking up your bass for the first time and Blacken comes on, you start really rethinking your life. But no, that was absolutely it. And here I am over 35 years later, still doing it, still going strong, and here we are talking about yet another band, a new band now, Mimic with another brand new original. But yeah, I mean, I started playing bass and stuck with bass till I think I was about 20 or 21, and then I went into singing. Never really formally trained or anything like that. I just took a lot of influence from a lot of the guys in the scene, and knew I could. I won't say I knew. I felt I could fit somewhere in the middle. And then back and forth for years. Working with Dave and Dan Climo and Zilch. That was kind of a really big push to lead sing, because as we like to tell the story, and ironically enough, we started talking about Star Lake. At Star Lake, Dan, Dave, and myself were at a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert. A few beverages were had, a few. And then we started talking about putting a band together, and Dave just looked at me and went, "Well, what are you going to do?" He's like, "My brother plays bass." And we just kind of went, "Well, I guess I'll sing. Let's do that. I'll sing." And that was pretty much it. And then, a somewhat tipsy Dan Climo rolled around the truck and pointed directly at us and went, "I got the name, Zilch." And there you go. For as easy as Mimic showed up, Zilch was that much easier to show up.
So I actually remember the first time I became aware of Zilch. I was at my wife's cousin's wedding reception. Something deck house.
North Park Deck House.
That's it. That's where we were. And there was a Zilch poster on the door. And I went home and I Googled it.
It's kind of funny because I think I actually found pictures from that show, because I think we've only played there twice, two or three times. And I think the other day I was going through a couple of my storage bins, and I ended up finding pictures of that.
So I'm assuming I was there probably the weekend before.
One would hope. If the fires were up.
Or you did what everybody else does and used to do, was put it up and not go take it down.
We were notorious for that. My neighborhood had them on telephone poles for months.
Yep. I used to get so mad about that, and now I look at it shows and I'm like, man, if only they would put posters up.
Right.
The internet has ruined a lot of things, and that's coming from a computer teacher. All right, with that, we're going to head off into the evening. I'm actually going to talk to him a little bit more, but then I'm going to let Robbie go. We're going to listen to one more track. It is from the band Rebel Revolver, and the song is called The Stray, here on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 819. Join us in each and every Monday. And then on Tuesdays, jump on Music from 412 at 8 p.m. to hear the Pennsylvania Rock Show flashback, where I go back and we take a song from the early years of the Pennsylvania Rock Show, talk to one of the people involved in recording that track, and then pick a newer song that they're involved in and compare the process between making each song. It's kind of cool. Nice. That said, we're going to go listen to Rebel Revolver.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Robbie. Don't forget that Music from 412 has partnered with Dresky Entertainment to have Dresky give away 2 tickets to select shows that they are producing. And it's real simple. All you have to do is go to musicfrom412.com/contest, click on the show you're interested in attempting to win tickets to, and follow the directions. Even though you're giving us an email address, it's only used to tell you that you've won and to contact you about receiving your tickets. Each time a contest is over, we delete all that information and is not used for anything else. So once again, Music from 412, partnered with Dresky Entertainment, giving you free tickets to select Dresky Entertainment shows.